Hi, if you're watching this video, you probably already understood something very important. Investing is not just about buying and selling, it's about having control. You might have stocks in one broker, cryptocurrencies in an exchange, and maybe an ETF on another platform. Different logins, different currencies, different numbers, a mess. And the worst part is that in that situation, it's almost impossible to see the full picture of your wealth. What you're looking at right now is InvestFy. And no, it's not just a spreadsheet. InvestFy is a professional portfolio management system built in Excel, designed to give you a clear and unified view of your entire portfolio, no matter how many brokers, currencies, or assets you use. When you download InvestFy, you don't just get a file. You receive a complete folder structure designed to help you start in a clear and organized way from day one. Inside the InvestFy folder, you'll find two subfolders, one for each language. Each one includes 4 key elements. First, a quick guide to understand the overall structure of the system. Second, the video tutorial you're watching right now. Third, the Microsoft Excel folder, where the main product files live. And finally, the disclaimer and terms of use. Inside the Excel folder, you'll find the simulated portfolio version, loaded with real-world examples so you can explore how the system works in practice, and the ready-to-use versions, completely clean, so you can start from scratch with your own data in the color you prefer. My recommendation is to always start with the simulated portfolio. It will help you understand the logic of the system before using it with real money. Everything in InvestFy is built on a solid foundation, and that foundation is the settings sheet. This sheet is the brain of the system. Here you define your brokers, strategies, asset types, sectors, and markets. Nothing is typed manually where it shouldn't be. Everything you'll later use in transactions comes from here. In the Assets table, you can also activate or deactivate assets. Only assets marked as active will be available to select in the transaction sheet. Transaction types are predefined and cannot be modified. Deposit, buy, sell, withdrawal, and dividends. This is not a limitation, it's a design decision to ensure consistency and avoid interpretation errors. One especially important section is currencies and conversion ratios. InvestFy is not designed to show how much your portfolio was worth in the past, but how much it is worth today. Your base currency always has a ratio of 1. That is the reference point of the entire system and cannot be changed. All other currencies are converted against that base. If the exchange rate changes tomorrow, you update it once, and your entire historical portfolio is recalculated automatically in your base currency. This turns InvestFy into a single source of truth, no matter how many brokers or currencies you use. Once everything is configured, we move to the heart of the system, the transaction sheet. Each row represents a real-world movement, a deposit, a buy, a sell, a dividend, or a withdrawal. And there's a fundamental rule that InvestFy always enforces. Money does not appear out of thin air. Before buying, you first register a deposit into the corresponding broker. Then you register the purchase. The sheet is clearly structured into sections. In the general section, you enter the date, broker, and transaction type. In the asset section, you only select the ticker. Everything else is filled automatically. In the transaction details section, you enter quantity, price, and commissions for buys and sells. For deposits, withdrawals, or dividends, the amount is entered only in the direct amount column. The gray columns are intentionally locked. This is not a limitation, it's protection. That's where all the system logic lives, preventing errors that eventually break any portfolio. A key strength of InvestFy is how risk management is handled. Stop loss and take profit levels are defined exclusively in the transaction sheet, and only when the transaction type is buy. In other words, when you buy an asset, that's when you define how much downside you're willing to accept and what your profit target is. These values are not entered or modified in the portfolio sheet. The portfolio displays them automatically, always taking the most recent stop loss and take profit defined for that asset within the open cycle. If you buy the same asset again and define new levels, those are the ones that will be reflected. This way, you're always monitoring your position using the most up-to-date information. As you enter transactions, the portfolio sheet updates automatically. Here, you don't see what you once bought. You see what you actually hold today. Only assets with an open cycle are displayed. Closed positions disappear automatically to keep the view clean. On the left, you see your real holdings, quantities, weighted average price, and invested capital. If you bought the same asset at different prices, InvestFy calculates your true average cost. The system understands investment cycles. If you sell 100% of a position, the cycle is closed. If you later buy the same asset again, a new cycle starts without mixing past data. On the right, the tracking section automatically displays the stop loss and take profit defined in transactions compared against the current price, which is managed from the settings sheet. All of this comes together in the charts sheet, where numbers turn into clear insights. You can see the evolution of your portfolio over time, comparing your real contributions against total portfolio value. You also get a detailed portfolio breakdown by asset, a profit breakdown separating dividends from realized gains, distribution by sector, market, asset type, and strategy, commission analysis by broker, available cash per broker, and a full portfolio breakdown by broker. Gray bars represent your actual contributions. Green bars represent performance. When green starts to exceed gray, that's compound interest working in your favor. And everything can be viewed in different currencies using the currency selector, recalculated instantly using your ratios. Before using InvestFy with real money, you have the simulated portfolio. It's a protected environment where you can explore real scenarios, partial sells, dividends, closed cycles, assets bought across different brokers, and multiple currencies working together. One important point: InvestFy is not designed for automated trading or minute-by-minute scalping. It's built for investors who want control, clean history, and conscious decision-making. The file also includes a user manual with FAQs and best practices. All formulas are protected, and the structure is designed to remain robust over time. InvestFy is not about entering numbers quickly. It's about understanding your money over time. From your first stock purchase to managing a complex portfolio, stop guessing, start controlling. Happy investing.